now at Georgia Tech in her second year. And both of these coaches, of course, have been involved in the USA women's basketball experience. Of course, Jeff Walls and Nell back on the court. And the first possession goes to Georgia Tech. It's you look at their starting five.
Well, we talked about Lahtinen, but you also got to keep an eye on Laura Kubai, an outstanding post player for the Yellow Jackets.
And they went right inside off the bat, did Georgia Tech, and can't get it to go. And now the Cardinals starting lineup as you see them.
Well, one of the things that Jeff Walls is looking for offensively from his team is making sure that they are finding the best shot possible. Don't just take the easy shot. Don't take the contested shot. Find the open shot. Find your teammate.
And, of course, we notice again for the sixth time this year, the ace start for Mikasa Robinson. A good reason for that. She does so many things. She has become the glue of this team, hasn't she?
Well, the number 3 nationally ranked Cardinals have Robinson in the starting lineup for a reason. It's not for her scoring. She averages just 1.3 points per game, but she is a defensive stopper and makes all the little things happen.
Good pass inside, a rejection. Hermosa took the shot. It found it. A Cardinal defender knocking it away, and quickly in the front court, we're going to have the game's first foul. Smith was fouled, and it'll be out of bounds. There's Mikasa. She just brings so many things to the table, and she has become the glue.
She absolutely is. She knows offensively and defensively where everybody's supposed to be. We see the freshman Haley Van Lith connecting from long range.
And boy, she does a lot of things for a first-year player. Got a little trapping full court pressure here. Broken nicely by the Jackets, but the shot deflected, but it'll stay with Georgia Tech.
Yeah, Dana Evans just didn't have the size to come up with that rebound. Good ball movement by the Yellow Jackets.
That's McQueen. She was the freshman of the week, back in December. She's from Florence, South Carolina, averages almost 9 a game. We're tied at 3. Evans with the drive and the bank.
Well, Dana Evans is so dangerous. She's got great three-point shooting ability, but she also can put it on the floor. Coming out of high school, she was known for her quickness and her scoring.
Again, the shot open in the corner. And Loyal McQueen hits 2 in a row. That's how you break that pressure, isn't it there, Sarah?
Great job again by the Yellow Jackets, spreading the floor and connecting from long range.
Cardinals taking in the half-court attack. Dixon had it momentarily. Now Evans leads the team in scoring, assist, free throw shooting, you name it.
Yeah. She does it all. About the only thing she's not leading the Cardinals in is rebounding.
Tech with the early lead.
And I think you're going to see Georgia Tech try to pound that ball inside. NC State coming up with the upset here in the Yum Center over the then #1 ranked Louisville Cardinals, was able to get the ball inside. But we see the Yellow Jackets taking advantage of the three-point line as McQueen knocks down her second 3 of the game.
Of course, with their strong inside game, Sarah, that's the combination you want to have for a solid club, as both of these teams have done this year.
Inside-out game is going to be very important, Dawn.
Here's a good look at Herrera Hermosa, 6'5" sophomore center out of Spain. Several foreign players on the roster for Georgia Tech, and effective. Here comes Robinson. What a great pass inside, and it'll work a foul. Again, that's what Mikasa does so well, not even looking in that direction, and now it's going to be a couple of freebies. Going to the line will be Liz Dixon.
Yeah, Robinson is 3rd on the team in assists. That looked like a great defensive stop in transition by Georgia Tech, but Mikasa Robinson able to find the open player.
Dixon, of course, the 6'5" junior forward out of Memphis. One of 4 players that played in every game last year. That was shortened, of course. A couple of freebies, ties the game at 7, and Louisville, well, they're going to stay with that extended pressure.
Yeah, you're going to see the Cardinals mix up their defenses quite a bit. They like to keep you off balance, always guessing. We see a little trap here on the perimeter. Nice job by Georgia Tech, though, to find the open player. And they're hitting the boards hard, our Yellow Jackets.
That was Hermosa. You know, the earlier shot, that was that inside out and looked like a little hesitation on the jumper, but not any hesitation by the rebound and the foul. And there again is Dana Evans. The one thing she's done, and we can remember when she was a freshman, she did a lot of good things well, like she was fast, but she didn't know how to run fast in spurts. Great conference yesterday, press conference with Dana. We'll talk about that tonight, and Jeff Walls. God, again, good perimeter. There you see there.
Well, Georgia Tech is doing a great job, Don, of spacing on the floor, making sure that they are running their offense effectively, and they're doing a really nice job moving the ball. Crisp passes, not allowing the defense time to find the open player.
That was Kiara Fletcher that had 8 starts this year, her 9th. It had that basket underneath. Of course, we might want to mention another former Cardinal, of course, our friend and colleague, Courtney Walton, now recruiting operations at Georgia Tech.
All sorts of intermixed relationships here. Courtney Walton, a 2015 graduate of the Louisville Cardinals, and Cardinals have a couple players on their roster who are Georgia Tech transfers.
We're just all getting together tonight here in the Center.
I sure do miss having Courtney on the sidelines as part of our broadcasting crew.
But you know she's doing a great job there. I'm sure she's fit right into the system there in Atlanta, and we were so proud to have her, one of the great Cardinals, and you know she would do well, and you know she loves what she's doing too. Louisville 18-1, 11-1. There's Courtney. You got to go up and down the court, Courtney. Come on, where's your mic? What a great former Cardinal and a terrific person to boot. There's a nice dribble drive. What a block that time. Dixon went in there to slap it away.
And Dixon is quite the defensive presence. The 6'5" junior forward has great arm span and timing.
Yes, she does. That's one that just rolled off and the whistle underneath.
I really like that Dana Evans is putting the ball on the floor. She is not settling for 3-point shots early in this game. She's trying to see if anybody can stop her, and that's especially important, Don, on a night like tonight that is so emotional. The lone senior on this Cardinal roster, and I don't care who you are, it is tough on senior night, especially when you're recognized before the game, to get the emotions in check in order to play the kind of game you want to play. And I think her being in attack mode and getting into the paint is exactly what she needs to get herself going on offense.
Well, Dana, the hardest worker on the team, and her former buddy, Erica Carter, was a key part of her development. We'll talk about some of the things that she and Coach Walls discussed yesterday. That's that outside in, and you can pretty much write that one down for Liz Dixon.
Yeah, that was an excellent interior pass by Evans, and Dixon with those soft hands able to pull it in and finish.
11-11 our score here on the ACC Network Extra. And another turnover, back-to-back boo-boos by Georgia Tech. And Van Lith will set up the offense, the talented freshman.
Georgia Tech's done a good job so far in their transition defense. We see a nice post-to-post pass there, but a block inside. Cochran can't get it to go down as she gets that shot rejected.
And boy, that's where they like to get it to Cochran too. That was a defensive jam and a beautiful shot by Fletcher deep in the corner.
Not the kind of transition defense that Jeff Walls is expecting from his team.
Georgia Tech has hit 67% of the shots early here in the game. And has the 2-point lead. Good feed inside. And that'll be a basket every time for Olivia Cochran. The talented freshman out of Columbus, Georgia, McDonald's High School All-American. She's taken up to the college game very well.
She is a talent. I'm impressed with how well she plays defensively without getting herself into foul trouble. You don't see that from a lot of freshman post players as they're transitioning to Division I.
That is a great point, because it's such a big difference when it comes to officiating, but the three-point shot is big tonight for Georgia Tech.
Loyal McQueen knocking another one down. This freshman is not intimidated by coming into number 3 Louisville Cardinals home court.
And Georgia Tech again trying to rebound after losing to Wake Forest, your alma mater, that snapped that 7-game winning streak.
Demon Deacons gave Louisville all they could handle.
Absolutely.
In Winston-Salem, but it was a big comeback by U of L, coming down from 9.
Timeout on the floor. It's a good one. The Jackets out to the early lead over the Cards. One of the very special programs, of course, involved in the ACC and across the country, K-Yao Cancer Fund. Play for K, benefiting the K-Yao Cancer Fund in partnership with WBCA and the V Foundation. You donate at kyao.com. Sarah and I were just talking during the break. Of course, Sarah played at Wake Forest, and what a person K-Yao was and what she left, the legacy. And we're going to have some fun tonight and talk about some of the other things she's done. But you can always give to the V Foundation. In this case, we're talking about Play for K. And boy, is it in a terrific program. And the ACC's been the real leader on it, too.
Such a tremendous women's basketball league. And K-Yao really one of the legends in college women's basketball. And she battled hard a couple different times. And just so great to see her name associated with this wonderful cause.
And she touched so many people in women's basketball, too. And just one of the nicest persons you ever want to meet. Was a heck of a coach. And just glad to be a part of it and support it when you can.
And quite that Southern accent.
Oh, no doubt about that. This went off the rim as Cochran tried one inside, and then we have a whistle. Going to be out of bounds. What do you think so far? 5-point lead. You see the field goal percentage. Coach Walls didn't seem very happy during his last time out. Not that that's not a normal situation for any coach.
Well, right now the Yellow Jackets are outperforming. They're out-executing the Louisville Cardinals on their home floor. Offensively, they look really sharp. And defensively, they were doing a tremendous job shutting down the Cardinals' transition game.
Again, that good movement, taking this one inside. Oh, a terrific job that time of the use of the body. And that's Aaliyah Love. She's a good-looking freshman out of Kansas City. We saw her particular numbers there. Now you go back inside if you're Louisville. That's where you can get it done with Cochran. Nobody could stop her there.
No, she's got great presence inside and also has great hands. Did a nice job positioning, calling for the ball.
Little running jumper, a little bit too hard. Nothing but white shirts there. And Balagoon comes out of the pack with a rebound. And now we'll get it out between the circles, and Dana Evans will set up the Cardinal offense.
Cardinals' #1 offensive opportunity is always in transition. They want to score layups. They can't get in transition. They go into their secondary offense. And you can see Louisville trying to pound the ball inside as much as possible.
Well, one of the things I think you've seen in North Carolina State against Louisville, and I'll ask you, you were a coach, you keep up with it all the time. Are we beginning to see more? It used to be more three in, 2 out. I mean, the bigger players are getting more multi-faceted, and North Carolina State was a perfect example of that.
Absolutely. You don't see that traditional back to the basket post player very often anymore. A lot of the post players have the ability to put the ball on the floor, shoot the three, and that's what you're seeing. So, you know, in a way, you still have that 3 guard. It just happens to be the 2 and the 3 are over 6 feet tall. Yeah. Sometimes your point guard is too.
Boy, it's been some great transition over the years of women's basketball. There's a nice move and a lot of traffic. And Georgia Tech, 30 seconds to go, hanging on to that 3-point lead. Missed a couple little chippies there, and the Cardinals may have the last opportunity if they choose here in the first. Georgia Tech with that 3-point lead.
As we said, they really have been the sharper team here in the first quarter.
Good feed down low. Pretty good defense, but a little bit too much of a push by Hermosa.
And if you're Georgia Tech, you do not want to put the Cardinals on the free throw line very often.
Oh, no.
They are shooting 78.6% as a team from the charity stripe, leading the ACC and 11th in the country.
Might want to add, too, Georgia Tech leads the ACC in defense. Little runner with the left hand and got the friendly bounce. Oh, it danced around for Smith, but she was able to get the jump. Perimeter shooting has been good, and Georgia Tech hanging in with the Cards. You know, Sarah, a lot of people have asked questions. What about all this testing? Here's a nice breakdown that the crews put together for the season, the month, and the week. Now, we're talking about, of course, this is men and women that we're going to have to deal with. Look at the breakdown there. So really, overall, it's been pretty good, but it's still pretty much dominated the season.
Well, it is a stark number when you look at it. And in a category the women don't want to be winning in but are, and that's the canceled, postponed games. You've got to be flexible if you're going to make it through this season, that's for sure.
How about flexible and easy basket? After Cochran had her first shot blocked, she's responded rather quickly.
Well, the Cardinals, although an outstanding three-point shooting team, are definitely pounding it in the paint, looking for drive opportunities, and lately they've really been looking inside for their post players, both Olivia Cochran and Elizabeth Dixon.
Coach for both teams, but it's the inside play as well. Little run and jump out of that half-court game.
Don, you mentioned Georgia Tech leading the ACC in scoring defense, and we're seeing why. Dana Evans makes it look easy with the elbow jump shot.
You know, she has just developed so many different parts of her game. And she's done it with the simple thing, hard work. And Jeff Walls mentioned that in his press conference yesterday with her, is that she has learned and taken on all those different things. It's going to help her be a better player at the next level, too.
Yeah, absolutely. Coming in where she was a right-hand dominant player because she was so much quicker than her high school opponents, had to develop that left hand. And, you know, now you see she's got the pull-up jump shot. She's always been a tremendous scorer and a great passer, distributor. But she just continues to add layers and layers to her game.
Right on cue, Dana. And you know, the other thing about it, you forget, best thing that ever happened to her, made her a much better all-around basketball player. And when she spoke about her folks yesterday, she was in tears there, too. They were a big influence on her. She thought about transferring early. And look what happened now because she stuck it out with Coach Walls and the family. Thank you, Dana. You're making the words sound pretty good today. And the Wooden Award late in the season. Wow.
And we have a timeout.
Dana Evans, that's what's coming up and what she's done and more of it when we come back. Well, Dana Evans, what can you say? Let's take a little bit of this action. Little pull-up jumper there. And Dana says, well, I think we needed a perimeter jumper. She does it all with ease, and she's also got a few more accolades going for her. You want to take those, Sarah?
Well, a pretty impressive list. They don't all fit on my sheet. The Wooden Award, Naismith Trophy. She is a two-time ACC Player of the Week, and she's the ESPNW reigning Player of the Week after her last 3 game performances. Included a clutch 3 with under a minute against Notre Dame and 2 free throws to seal the win against the Fighting Irish.
And she's changed the second quarter here in this matchup between number 3 Louisville and Georgia Tech in the ACC. Looked like it might have been an extra step, but no whistle, out of bounds. It'll go to the Cardinals. And now I think the biggest thing, Sarah, we've seen not only the offense, but the Cardinal defense has really stepped up some here too.
Absolutely, that was a big block by Elizabeth Dixon. there in the paint. She has such great timing, does a nice job of making contact and keeping the body away from the player and just getting ball.
ACC women's basketball from the KFC Yum Center with Sarah White on Don Russell. Dana, that's only her third miss out of 8 shots. Couple of offensive opportunities. And now, there's that aggressive play we talked about. No place for the meat for sure. Is Balagoon.
Well, if you've got a championship mentality, you've got to have that kind of aggressiveness on the boards. And we see there Balagoon looking, she gets tied up, but she was trying her best to keep possession of that ball for her team and a score.
Had 4 Yellow Jackets on her. That stings sometimes, doesn't it? She got it out of there. And again, as you mentioned, that defensive scoring percentage, and Mel Fortner will tell you, if you can build a good defensive base, you can be competitive, and that's one of the things she's always built her career on. She played at the University of Texas.
Georgia Tech ball into the game for the Yellow Jackets is number 4, Anaya
Has had a tremendous coaching career, spent a year at Purdue before becoming the first full-time head coach for USA Basketball, all-time winningest USA Basketball coach with over 100 wins, just 14 losses.
And they're proud with her. It's going to be an offensive foul. I don't think they're going to count the basket.
Makaza Robinson doing what those are the kind of things that she brings to this Cardinal team. It's not going to show up in a stat sheet, but that's a turnover for Georgia Tech and a foul on Lahtinen.
You know, that's as big as a three-pointer to her. That is a three-pointer for her. Just a terrific team player, and she has really become a key part of the team. And Lift got in a little bit of traffic and threw an errant pass. Now the Yellow Jackets on the run.
Georgia Tech causing that turnover and now looking to see what they can get going on the offensive end. A little more stagnant at some of the offensive possessions we've seen for Georgia Tech.
You can see a 3-minute-plus drought right now as Georgia Tech trying to change that. Clock running down to 8, and they're able to do so.
Yeah,
that was an important basket there.
Balagoon just a little slow coming over for the help side. Van Lith got beat, and her help wasn't there in time.
Couldn't get the offensive rebound this time. Good, strong work by the Yellow Jackets.
I like how Balagoon is hitting the boards on the offensive end, though. She's battling hard inside, and Makaza coming up with a loose ball.
After Dixon blocked it, up to Evans. Dana tries to get the extra pass.
And they're going to call a foul on Georgia Tech.
The foul on Georgia Tech, number 4, Anaya Boyd, her first. Team
Boyd that committed that foul. One of the few times that Louisville's had some success in transition. Yellow Jackets has done a nice job defensively against Louisville today, but especially in transition.
Evans leads all scores, with 11. 5 out of 8 from the floor. 1 of 3 from 3. And the aforementioned Dana Evans with the possession now with the left hand off the glass. Oh, it is your night, Dana.
Well, I know the Yum Center is a special place to Dana Evans, and due to COVID-19 protocols, not the number of fans that she normally would be playing in front of on senior night, but she wants to make sure those that are here get their money's worth.
That's true. A good follow-up there. Give that to Love. She's had a couple of tough baskets scored for Georgia Tech today.
Well, when Georgia Tech's been most successful offensively has been when they've been moving the basketball in their offensive sets on the pass and not the dribble. The Cardinals have the speed to match them when they put the ball on the floor, but when Georgia Tech passes effectively, they get some open looks.
Yeah, they do an awful lot of things well. You can tell the way they've been playing in the ACC, and Fortner's certainly done a great job there. Louisville looking for the early offense, and Leaf had to think of that for a minute. Found it, and now gets it to Evans.
Louisville doing a nice job crashing the boards on both ends as Balagoon connects from three-point range. We mentioned Balogun started out her collegiate career at Georgia Tech. In fact, she was the ACC Freshman of the Year for the Yellow Jackets.
And a Cheryl Miller Award watch list selection.
Balogun stepped aside from her Cardinal commitment, missed the Boston College game to be with the Nigerian national team for their Olympic trials.
Yep.
A lot of international experience on both of these rosters.
Now you got a lot of flags for Georgia Tech. They have some players from Finland, Sweden, you name it, but
Italy,
Spain.
Spain.
Oh, another little dribble drive. Terrific job for Smith to get it to go. Well, the Cardinals have had some nice touches around the rim.
Kiana Smith has been playing very well for the Cardinals. Nice tip there by Van Lith, but Georgia Tech able to regain possession.
Cardinal lead is 7. They fell behind early, trailed a lot of the first quarter. This one off the back of the iron and nothing but white shirts there to chase it. And Smith will bring it up. And this one doesn't dance around and go down, as Haley had a good look there. Don't forget, we have a great halftime show coming up. The Dana Evans mini-series chapter 3, and you don't want to miss it. Highlights and stats all coming up here on the ACC Network Extra at halftime of this one.
Dana Evans being mentioned in all the serious conversations about National Player of the Year, and well-deserved chatter about her. And we talked about it. It has not come easy. She's had to put in a lot of hard work, and that's what the best players at this level do. They don't just show up and play games. They're putting hours upon hours in the gym. Erica Carter, former point guard for the Cardinals, set a great example for her, as did Asia Durr, another one of the hardest working Cardinals.
We want her to get better too. She's had some COVID problems. Kept her out of WNBA play, and we wish her the best. Looked like a foul. I didn't know we were going to get one, but it's going to be, I think there's a foul on the floor maybe, but we'll see.
The
Cardinals have done a nice job defensively without fouling.
Yeah. You know, we were talking about Coach Walls and looking at some of the unbelievable numbers. You know, all-time ACC regular season, 56-6. How's that?
That's amazing. I mean, 90% win percentage in the last 4 years in the ACC regular season. Oh, and 62-8 in regular season and tourney play.
That's just unbelievable.
I mean, the Cardinals have just come into this conference and dominated, and this is considered by many one of the, if not the top women's conferences in the nation.
There you see a good dribble drive. Haley that time wanted to take it to the basket because she's an excellent free throw shooter. There's a freshman that you knew would really stand out. You know, here's a girl that's a young lady averaging 11-6, 5.4 rebounds, 2.1 assists, all the way out in Washington. And we were talking, Sarah, about all the team, but I noticed that about Haley in the first game of the season, how intent they looked at Coach Walls when he comes over there to the sideline or in the timeouts. They just soak it up. You know, that doesn't just happen.
You can tell the level of respect these players have for Jeff Walls and his staff by that eye contact that they're making in timeouts, the trust that they have in his system, the confidence that he instills in them.
And another great product of that is what we're seeing with the lone senior, Dana Evans. Somebody got a piece of that one. Good block by Balogun. The shot clock does not reset, but it stays with the Yellow Jackets.
We've got 10 seconds to make a play toward the basket.
You saw those block shot statistics there. Coach Walls, nice catch out of bounds. He's still got the hands. Well, we talked about his shoes earlier this year. Now we know he has some great hands. He was very emotional himself yesterday at that press conference after Dana got, surprisingly, I think to herself, how emotional, because there were a lot of teams that you know we're saying, hey, Dana, you can start for us now. Well, you're not starting now. And she held her ground, and it was really, really emotional and fun to see. Good look that time, but off the line for Cochran.
It takes a special McDonald's All-American player to come in and be a reserve for 2 seasons. And I know Dana had some tough times, but I know she's glad she stuck it out, that her parents insisted she see it all the way through. And she, with the help of the coaching staff, have just developed into an elite player. She was talented as a freshman, don't get me wrong.
Oh, yeah.
But she has gotten better every single year, and it's been fun to watch the progress.
And we had timeout on the floor momentarily. I don't know if there was something on. Somebody got maybe injured. It's away from the action.
Yeah, we got a player down, opposite end of the floor. It's Kubai.
Yeah, Kubai, and she's getting a nail comes out herself, and then of course the training staff with 53 and 8/10 seconds remaining in the second quarter. If you joined us a little late, Georgia Tech had the early lead. Let's look at the ankle as she comes down and see if we can pick up what happened there.
Yeah, there she is driving to the basket.
Oh,
and
one turn already. She turned it when she went up. Yeah.
Yeah, you can see it move
When she
strange.
tries to get up, that it won't go. Yeah. Good job by the crew. You could see it immediately, and that was that. You know, it's amazing. I tell people when we go to football games all the time, you would think somebody would really get hurt every play, but basketball, you throw it up and go in all different directions. And she gets a round of applause that the allocated Cardinal fans that are in the KFC Yum Center, and she, of course, already has that protective bandage on her left knee, but it looked like it was her left ankle when she fell, but maybe she twisted her knee too. But
yeah, she's definitely walking gingerly, and Kubai is an important player to this Yellow Jacket team. She's the second leading scorer and the leading rebounder. She's averaging a double-double on the season. First in the ACC with 12 rebounds per game and also 13 points. So they're going to take her to the bench and evaluate her. But I know Nell Fortner would like to get Kubai back in this game if it's at all possible.
And she is the top rebounder in the ACC. And that's not going to help at all, but I'm sure she'll get the best of attention as they have with the club and there in the KFC Yum Center.
Well, the good news is there's under a minute until the halftime break, so I'm sure the sports medicine staff will do a full evaluation and see what they can do for Kubai.
43 seconds remaining. See who can maybe take a move. Got it inside and another block. Balagoon got a piece of that one. He's had a couple of swipes.
That was a tremendous offensive set. Great pass into the paint. Even better defense, and Balagoon has come up big with some hustle plays this evening.
Has 2 blocks. 15 seconds. Evans got hit traffic, almost got it to roll anyway. Lead pass up. Nice feed off for Georgia Tech. Didn't get the shot to go, but we have a foul.
Out of bounds.
It's just out of bounds. A lot of contact there. 3.2 seconds remaining, so let's see what the Cards. They get it up to Evans. Dana lets it go and can't get it off the glass. 36-28, number 3 Louisville leading Georgia Tech. Glad you're with us, and more to come. See that series they're doing on Dana. Well done.
I can't wait for number 4. I'm fired up, ready to go. I have Lash envy, by the way.
Wake Forest and Pitt tied at 57.
Has implications on the middle of the pack standings.
I tell you, the ACC is even better in women's basketball from top to bottom now when you add, of course, the Louisville and what's been done. Little double team action out of the defense for the Yellow Jackets to begin the third quarter. Wide open, Robinson can't get it to go.
Good ball movement by the Cardinals, and you know, Robinson's got to take that shot. When she's left that wide open, she's got to make the defense pay.
Well, Wake Forest and Pitt just went to OT. Tell you, I've been checking the women's scores every week in the ACC. Man, there haven't been hardly any blowouts. I mean, they have been so competitive. And again, that's with all the inconsistencies because of COVID. You got 5 players, you got 8 players, you got none. It's just been, matter of fact, Coach Chris Mack, the men's coach here, is recovering from COVID himself. That one's way off the mark. The Cardinals get the rebound. And in bracketology, Wake Forest is the first 4 out. You see right there.
Yeah, the game today is really important for the Demon Deacons. And we see out of the first 4 out, 3 of them are ACC teams, Notre Dame, Wake, and North Carolina.
That's the things we'll be watching. That's the bracketology from Charlie Crean, the 64-team bracket.
Still plenty of time left in the season.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And, of course, for these teams, most of their games have been in the ACC. A lot of the non-conference games were the ones that were lost. And then, of course, it changed to league play as well. That went off the mark, and Georgia Tech, down by 9, brings it across the court.
The ACC expanded to a 20-game season this year. They have more control within conference, moving games around than you do outside of conference. Nice steal there by Van Lith, and Georgia Tech almost got it back, but Cardinals able to retain possession.
I think Van Lith is going to have some unbelievable numbers by the time she's done. But this one goes down from Kiana Smith, the redshirt junior out of Marin Valley, California. Averages 11.8 points, 3.7 rebounds. Part of that Cardinal depth and starting lineup from time to time as well. Let's take a look at Haley.
We have been spending a lot of time talking about the Cardinals' offensive abilities, but they're a good defensive team, including the freshman Van Lith. Great.
Recruited and just an unselfish and solid player, particularly for a first-year player in the collegiate level.
Well, another incredibly hard-working
player.
Smith
now 2 in a row.
Well, and that's what's so dangerous about the Cardinals. They have so many offensive weapons, and Kiana Smith had 16 points against the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. She can light up a scoreboard.
Cardinals really stepped it up. You can see, you stop that dribble, they're right there on you. Shot clock down to 10. Hasn't been much of a look. That's a tough shot, doesn't go. Rebound ends up in the hands of a Yellow Jacket, and now we finally have a whistle under the basket.
Great job by Georgia Tech to crash the offensive boards. It's so frustrating for the Cardinals because they actually had an excellent defensive possession there. Did a nice job, aggressive, getting out on ball screens, and then they give up a couple offensive rebounds, and Hermosa with the opportunity to get some points for her team.
See, 7 points, 3 rebounds, and Hermosa tied her career high against your alma mater with 16 points. She's from Victoria, Spain, 6'5" sophomore center.
You know, such a great example of how you have to finish the play off. Great job defensively by Louisville, but they didn't complete their box out assignments. And Georgia Tech able to get some points.
And they start with a press defense. Louisville moves it around nicely, got a good look. What a good follow-up rebound. And all of a sudden, Kiana Smith is leading the Cardinals as they open up a 46-32 advantage.
And then the attack from Loyal McQueen. Loyal, we've been talking about Wake Forest a lot tonight. I got to give another shout out because her dad, Derek McQueen, was a 4-year starter at the point guard position for the Demon Deacons. And his daughter is quite the talent.
See Jeff Walls coaching the coaches. I love how coaches, you kind of lean on each other, don't you? My partner was a great player at Wake Forest, and of course, coached here at Louisville and was in the coaching business, and now very successful in the real estate business. Has to hang out with me occasionally. That's okay. But I tell you, we have been blessed to be in those 18,000, 14,000 crowds at KFC Yum Center, and Louisville women's basketball is a happening. And Lith can't get it. The lefty off balance on that shot a bit. Nice shot from one end to the other, but rejected by that Cardinal defense. And you're right, both of these teams, if the ball is loose, you're not going to wait for people to go after it. These teams really rely on their defense very heavily. That was Carter. Carter, a 5'10" freshman from Norcross, Georgia.
Well, in the tight game against Notre Dame, Jeff Walls complimented his team on their effort on those 50-50 balls. That was a big factor in the win. Louisville missing a lot of layups, but coming up with some big hustle plays. And another big hustle play there by Robinson. And what a second half, third quarter Kiana Smith is having. I think if I'm the player assigned to guard her, I need to step up my game a little bit.
A game-high 17 points for her on 7 out of 11. And a timeout, and Smith will get a rest. Louisville open it up now, 49-33, the Cards over Georgia Tech. Well, Kiana Smith, you have heard us talk about her. Let's see what she's done just about everywhere on the floor, Sarah.
Yeah, she has just been a bright spot. I love that offensive rebound and put back off the Dixon miss, and she's made Georgia Tech pay from long range as well, leading all scorers with 17 points, 3 of 6 from three-point range.
And you can tell she's been steady, but above her average in this game. That's where Louisville can hurt you so much. There's a lot of players that can step up in big-time play, not just Dana Evans, and all of them are coming back besides Dana, too. Plus a recruiting class. Good second effort that time. Anaya Boyd, the 5'10" freshman from McDonough, Georgia, stayed after that miss and was able to stick it back in for the extra point.
You see that three-quarter court trapping press by Georgia Tech again. They've had success with it, come up with a steal there. They forced some bad shots out of that defense. Louisville needs to work on figuring that out.
Yeah, that was a tough shot by Lautanen. And Evans now the other way, hooks it up and lays it in, and now the Evans, and
you know, that's a great solution to any kind of full court pressure. You just get it down the court fast enough not to allow the defense time to set up.
Dana now with 15, 7 out of 11 from the floor. 4 assists, 4 rebounds for Dana as well on her senior night. As Louisville will hit the road for the remaining of the regular season. Of course, the ACC women's tournament in Greensboro.
You see Hermosa inside with a nice.
And she's going to have to pick up some of the slack from Kubai being out for the rest of the game with that twisted knee.
We certainly hope that that is something that Kubai is able to recover quickly,
especially
from
through conference play coming up. Good break that time by Georgia Tech. Ends up with Boyd with the basket. And they won't give up. They'll be right behind and force a turnover there.
Out of bounds to Georgia Tech.
3:54 to go in the third. Louisville 51, Georgia Tech 39. More from the KFC Yum Center. Moments. Here's Sunday's afternoon women's basketball doubleheader over the ACC network and the ESPN app. We'll start at noon Eastern with Wake Forest and Clemson from Littlejohn Coliseum. Then it's another Florida showdown between Miami and Florida State and Tallahassee. There's no love lost between these rivals on Valentine's Day. That Cardinal fan is ready as they have the 51-39 lead over Georgia Tech. With 3:42 to go here in the third quarter, I'm Don Russell, Sarah White. Great job as always for our crew, led by Jeremy Noe. And don't forget, it is Play 4K, and all you have to do is check out the website and support this great program in the ACC and across the nation in honor of Kay Yao. Good bounce pass down by the Cardinals that time, and Balagoon, the recipient of that nice feed.
That was a really well-executed offensive set for the Cardinals. Crisp cuts, great ball movement, pass on the money.
Now this team really, now they're going to a little run and jump action, double teaming when possible. That one missed deep in the corner. Good offensive board by Georgia Tech, and now they get the three. I tell you, McQueen has shot the perimeter, shot well, and that's how the Yellow Jackets started the game, actually, and then started moving inside and out. There's a good look. I tell you what, Dixon is so good with that shot. And this Memphis junior, of course, that makes her even tougher to guard.
Yeah, it's a great step back move. And when you can do that at 6'5" and create space, shoot over the top of your defender, that's a difficult shot to defend.
There's one from the free throw line, and Fletcher gets it to go for Georgia Tech. Herrera, the senior out of Warren, Michigan. Great feed in by the Cardinals with the left hand. The basket goes, and +1. And guess who started the play? And the Cardinals have tried to add to the lead. It's a final, Sarah. I'll let you take it since you're a graduate.
Well, the Wake Forest Demon Deacons able to get that 3-point win in overtime against Pitt. And they're able, it is an important game, stay in 7th place in the ACC. A lot of game action going on in ACC women's basketball tonight. I felt like when you were talking about the Sunday games, there should have been maybe in parenthesis next to both of those games.
We didn't say which Sunday. No,
yeah,
I'm just kidding. No, it's getting better, and I tell you, all the people dealing with that at the universities within the ACC, our boss and executive director here, Jeremy Knoll, the university staff and athletics, everybody's got to be on their toes and be willing to adapt. And of course, Jeff Walls was out with "I'll play anybody, anywhere, anytime" at the beginning of the year when we couldn't get much done at all.
Well, the Cardinals playing their 20th game of the season. I don't think there are many teams in the NCAA Division I who have been able to get in 20 games so far.
Here we have a whistle in the corner.
Louisville, a 30-second
It's going to be a 30-second timeout here. Well, the Bald Men are back on campus tomorrow night at 10 Eastern. Again, next week, this week, after wrestling and Georgia Tech Clemson men's basketball, we'll have our next Bald Men not on campus. Jay Billis, LaFonso Ellis, and Seth Greenberg preview the ACC slate of weekend games and have the latest news from around the conference. Only on the ACC network and the ESPN app. Those guys can flap their jaws now, too. They can talk some hoops.
Our camera crew is so good. They had a bald guy at the bottom of your screen during that entire promo. I love it. Good work, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
There are some days I'd like to shave all my hair. I'm a little envious.
I'll borrow some of it.
It takes too long to dry this.
Good inbounds play there for the Cardinals as Balogun gets the basket, and Louisville opens up a 14-point lead now with a minute and change to go here in the third.
That time a hard hedge for the double team, but Georgia Tech did not fall for it. Got the ball opposite side of the court for the easy shot.
Makes it a 60-49 game under a minute in the third. I think we're going to have an illegal pick. It's going to be on 22. That would be Liz Dixon.
Number 22, Liz Dixon, her second, team third.
You know, we talked about Kiana Smith and what an offensive threat she's been. She's poured in 13 points here in the third quarter. Only had 4 points at halftime. Now the ball's in the hands of Loyal McQueen.
Yep.
She commits the turnover. Good defensive stop for the Cardinals. They'll get an opportunity.
Yeah, McQueen now with 13 points, 11 for Hermosa, Fletcher with 11, Louisville led by Smith with 17, 15 to Evans, and 11 to Dixon. Balogun has 7 points as well. You see the points off turnover advantage to Louisville. That's really what was able to swing the game at the end of the first quarter. Now the Louisville Cardinals will be able to take the final shot.
That was a good rebound by Van Lith keep possession for her team.
Up.
And I spoke too soon.
That's why you can never take your eye off the ball.
Well, it's interesting, Don. Sometimes you can just tell from the pace of how the play is evolving. They're just out of sync. They're not going hard enough, and oftentimes those turnovers do occur.
And then you might double the boo-boo, we'll call it, because now the foul called on Van Lith.
And oftentimes you see that, especially out of freshmen. You make a mistake on the offensive end, commit that turnover, and then you try to come down and make up for it on the defensive end, but it's usually a little bit too much effort that creates a foul situation.
You saw the particulars there, even though the free throw doesn't go. Good job by Fletcher. Fletcher has 12 points, 7 rebounds, 7 of them defensive rebounds. McQueen, the leader, with 13 for Georgia Tech, 11 for Hermosa. And again, Smith and Evans, as that is the end of the third quarter. Dana Evans on senior night, she can score, and yes, she can dish. And the recipient, Cardinals, Liz Dixon. Well, the KFC Yum Center, our backdrop for ACC Network Women's Basketball. Number 3, Louisville 60, Georgia Tech 51. And defense has been the buzzword. Don't forget, tomorrow morning at the ACC Network, we'll have Trevor Lawrence Pro Day from the Clemson Toll Indoor Facility. He'll throw an assortment of scripted passes to showcase his arm strength, athleticism, and foot movement for the NFL scouts and executives. It's a 1-hour special. It begins at 10 a.m. Eastern on the ACC Network and the ESPN app. Never get away from football in the ACC, do we? That's be fun for a lot of folks as you look ahead to the NFL season of next year. Good solid rebound after the miss that time by Liz Dixon.
Yeah, good box out by the Cardinals on that possession. They've now evened things up, 28 rebounds for both teams.
Mikasa Robinson kind of takes the point. Going to try a couple of different set after the end of the third quarter. Evans got a good look at it off the back of the iron. Georgia Tech up in a hurry with Fletcher.
Fletcher's been an impact on this Georgia Tech team. She was on the ACC all-freshman team. She missed the first 5 games of this season, but she's been a solid contributor.
Can't throw that bounce pass in a crowd like that.
Yeah, good defense by Louisville. Just a little bit of an overpass, but good hustle.
Oh, second time it'll go. Dixon with the follow-up. Liz has been really solid, but an easy one at the other end for Georgia Tech. Got to get back on defense.
Absolutely. Georgia Tech doing a great job of passing the ball quickly down court for an easy 2.
62-53.
Dana Evans knew she had the quickness advantage over Lahtinen and took it straight to the rim. No help there for Georgia Tech. It's a position where you've got to have somebody step over and look to take the charge. Although Dana Evans has the body control, she'd probably just go right around you anyway.
And also the new string with 37 10 points or plus games for the Cardinal record.
Most double-digit scoring games in a row by a Cardinal. For the last 20 years, she passed Angel McCautry. They've been tied at 36 straight double-digit scoring games.
Now there's the beginning of the Cardinal basketball history, and now look down the road with Dana.
Anytime you pass Angel McCautry for anything, you're in pretty rarefied air.
You know, we were talking about so nice to have her come back with the USA team. It was a very special night, and she enjoyed it. She didn't want to leave. That was great for the crowd, and big afternoon on a Sunday in the KFC Yum Center. Whistled, somebody got slapped on the face, according to the official under the basket. There's Angel up there. 2005 to 2009, and Jeff Walls will always say it's the biggest gift he ever had.
Well, these fans love her, and she loves them right back. One of the many incredible players that have played for the Louisville Cardinals, but she's certainly a special one. A WBCA All-American. See here the play.
Oh, that's tough, isn't it?
The foul comes after. It's a clean block,
Right.
but then Balagoon comes down and across McQueen on the finish. That's where the foul occurred.
Well, they got it all straightened out. Of course, we showed some of those banners. So the confirmed foul is going to be on this Boyd. You see Coach Walls taking advantage. You know, we saw those, Balagoon, the other four. My mistake. So Elizabeth gets the personal for Louisville. Go to Boyd. Now Fortner, in her second year at the helm of Georgia Tech, the Texas grad.
Loyal McQueen has come in and made an impact for this
Boy,
Georgia
she
Tech
has.
team, averaging almost 9 points a game, and over 2 assists. She's had a big night tonight with 13 points.
Yep, and 5 Way out of bounds, going to be another Cardinal foul. Stops the clock with 6 4/10 seconds. Well, we congratulate everybody. Thank the crew here for the small part we've been able to follow University of Louisville women's basketball in the ACC. We wish the Cardinals well as they complete the regular season and the tournament.
As Loyal McQueen goes to the free throw line. It was Kiana Smith's 5th foul, so she heads to the bench with only 6.4 seconds left to play.
That went all the way around the rim for McQueen. I do remember her brother. He was a heck of a player.
Her dad.
Or her dad,
yeah,
rather.
Yeah, he
Think
was.
of everybody older.
Very, very talented. Yep, he and I overlapped.
A win for Dana Evans on senior night. A special night indeed for the Gary, Indiana product. She was outstanding, and the Cardinals get the 85-70 win over Georgia Tech.